Welcome back to my channel. My name is Charlene Ranzo. This is Charlene Ranzo Financial. And today we're going to talk about a story out of New York. A couple, two individuals who actually did a Medicare home care fraud. So we're going to talk about that today. But before we get into that particular story, I just want to let you know that if you haven't received your W-2s should be out. Everyone should receive their W-2 by the end of this month. And then the IRS will officially start taking uh, and processing refunds. So if you need to get your tax return done, you can hit the link in the description for Randall Paralegal Services in Taxes, and you can get your taxes prepared by clicking the link. If you are in a certain, we do taxes nationwide, just to let you know, we do all states. But if you are in a certain state, if you're in Connecticut, if you're in New Jersey, uh, you will be able to get your credit done as well as a client for Randall Paralegal Services. We're located in Connecticut, but we definitely do nationwide taxes and also credit. Um, but we have specials and extra additions for different clients. So just contact us, and we will make your package unique for you. So anyway, just click the link below and you'll be able to get all the information you need. So we are going to be talking about a story, as I said, out of New York. And this is a story about two individuals plead guilty to $68 million adult daycare fraud. And we're going to watch the video right here so we can actually talk about it. So
We are turning now to the Big Apple, where new multi-million-dollar fraud schemes are coming to light. Just this week, two scammers pleading guilty to a $68 million fraud scheme tied to the state's Medicaid home care program. The crooks billed for millions in services that they never provided. And unfortunately, it's not the only million-dollar scam recently exposed. News Nation's Leah Lando live in Manhattan tonight with the very latest. Leah, what are we learning on this?
Yes, Natasha, we've been looking into this just this past week, as you mentioned, two big cases in court involving millions of dollars in kickbacks and fraudulent billing to Medicaid. And we're talking about another notable case tonight that involves a program called CDPAP. Now, if you're not familiar with that, it is for people who need to be cared for, but they don't want to go to a nursing home. So through Medicaid, they can hire their own caretaker. They get to choose if it's a friend or a relative, as long as they go through the process. And while it sounds good, it is also a big target for scammers.
This is a program that is put in place to help care for people at their home instead of having them go in nursing homes.
Attorney John Flynn says while New York's Consumer-Directed Personal Assistance Program, or CDPAP, is meant to make things easier for loved ones who need care, it's also become the target of sophisticated scammers.
The actual program itself is for a good cause, but you have bad people out there who are taking advantage of federal and state money.
Just this past.
And I say this all the time. There are people and scammers out there who will actually take advantage of anything. So you have to be careful because um, people see an opportunity and they don't care. Like this company was running and made $68 million fraudulently. And it's like $68 million, that's just ridiculous.
Last week, two New Yorkers pled guilty to a $68 million fraud scheme tied to CDPAP, billing Medicaid for services at Brooklyn-based adult daycares that never actually happened. These fraudsters were, quote, large-scale recruiters who bribed patients with laundered cash and billed Medicaid over $68 million for services that were not provided. New York Attorney General Letitia James announcing a separate $1 million-plus conviction this week, also involving fake billing and kickback schemes tied to the state's Medicaid program. Unfortunately for the state's CDPAP program, fraud is nothing new.
And these are services that people actually need. People actually need these medical services and programs to make things easier. And then when people are trying to make things easier for the patients, you know, someone is taking advantage of the whole program and scheming and defrauding uh, monies from that particular program to the tune of $68 million. And that's just insane and ridiculous that, it went on so long as well. And they're just finding out, I believe it was over 5 years for them to make this much.
Back in 2018, a man arranged for friends and family members to be paid as home caregivers for his sick mom. Later, investigators found out that his mom wasn't even in the country. She was living in Bangladesh. And during home inspections, his brother impersonated her to keep the fraud going. Back in 2024, Governor Kathy Hochul calling CDPAP a, quote, racket and one of the most abused programs in the entire history of the state of New York. News Nation reached out to the governor's office for comment on the recent fraud charges, and a spokesperson for the governor tells me she has, quote, taken steps to fix the system by cutting out hundreds of middlemen. Yet the fraud continues. And Natasha, the governor's office also telling me that one example of Letitia James busting the transportation company owner is an example of efforts to stop this kind of crime from happening. And when Republicans asked for an audit of the CDPAP program here in New York, Hochul calling that a political stunt, saying there are already measures in place. Clearly, a lot of government-funded programs are the target of scammers. And, of course, President Donald Trump announcing recently that new division to combat crimes like this. Natasha.
Leah Lando live in New York tracking this. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, yeah, this is what people do when they see that a door or an opening, is available within a program or within some service that they can take advantage of. This is what they do. And they do need to crack down on these programs because um, I know they feel like it may hurt some of the individuals that receive it, and they actually need these services. So maybe, um, some people are just spoiling it for the people that need the services. But $68 million, I believe they said since over 5 years, about 5 years, a little over 5 years actually, is when, how they made all of this money. So over a point in time. And like they said, the other story where the guy um, was getting money for his mom to take care of her needs. And she wasn't even in the country. So she wasn't in the country. So they were sending him money basically for no reason. So some of these people, they know how to get over. They know more than the average individual. So that's how they are taking advantage because this, this is not this is more complicated than you would think. Some of them, they have the knowledge of what the program needs from these individuals, and they know how to get it, and they bring other people in to actually work with them. So I mean, a few bad apples definitely spoil the bunch when it comes to this, Because what are you going to do? You can't cut the programs completely, because then you're taking away from people who, actually did not do anything or commit anything, any type of fraud, and actually, need these programs. It's necessary for them. But then you got to weed out these individuals, because that is just not how it's supposed to be. So, two defendants pleaded guilty today to conspiring to defraud Medicaid by paying health care kickbacks for services that were not provided at two Brooklyn social adult daycares and a home health care company. So, this is in New York, in the borough of Brooklyn. The defendants were large scale recruiters who bribed patients with laundered cash and billed Medicaid over $68 million for services that were not provided. That's that's just wow. Yeah, they have to weed out these individuals. So I guess until they really figure it out, we'll probably see more of these stories than we think. We think that people are not out there doing this, and they actually are, in a time where the government is not in a place to give just let these things go and just lose $68 million. Wow. Tell me what you think about this in the comments. If you are not subscribed to this channel, subscribe, comment, and let me know what you think. Like this video, and I will see you in the next video. You're working hard to build a legacy, but is your tax strategy working just as hard for you? Or are you leaving thousands on the table because of an outdated filing system? Tax season shouldn't be a season of stress. I'm Charlene Randall, the tax boss. At Randall Paralegal Services and Tax, we don't just file forms, we leverage the tax code to keep more money in your pocket. From small business tax strategy to building business credit that actually scales, we handle the heavy filing. What sets us apart? We live in 2026. I teach tax professionals and realtors how to use AI to automate their brands, and I bring that same innovation to file your taxes. We use cutting-edge tech to maximize every credit and deduction, including the new no tax on tips benefit and 100% bonus depreciation. Whether you need tax preparation, legal document assistance, or a blueprint for $100,000 in business funding, we are your strategic partners in growth. It's time to stop guessing and start winning. Randall Paralegal Services and Tax, maximize your credits, automate your brand, and own your future.